Okay, this will be an interesting one. Let's see if I can make it look any good. This will be a challenging one, maybe. We're going to see how big we make it. It's not a postcard, it's a business card. We haven't done one of them for a while. So we're going to make the horizontal 340 and the vertical, I think from memory, is roughly 390. I think they're the sizes we need to get a good fit to page on a business card. Just add a bit of contrast to it, lighten it up a bit. Alright, let's see how we go. What we got? We got here a Zumba, or Zumba, don't know how to pronounce it. It's just this silly dancing, or whatever it is, exercise. Not my cup of tea, I must admit. Oh, it's got an interesting skincare and beauty on the opposite side. Ah, that's interesting. We're just going to focus on the Zumba. I don't like skincare and I don't like Zumba either, to be quite honest. I'm not into all that sort of stuff, that community centre stuff. That's stuff I grew out of when I was a little kid. I'm more interested in making photocopier demos and doing nerdy things. I'm just not interested in... Now, we're going to change this because we're going negative positive. But basically, I'm just not interested in... This is the kind of stuff my father would like me to do. He'd probably give me his, no, not literally, but give me his blessing if I fucking gave up photocopier art and took up Zumba. Fuck me dead. No, I'm not going to do that. I refuse. I'm not into that sort of shit. It's boring. It's just not me. I've got to be me. I want to be me. And I'm going to be me, no matter what. Dad doesn't like it, he can go fuck himself. Now, let's see how this goes anyway. But yeah, I'm just not interested in that shit. It's boring. I've got no time for it. I'm working on this campaign of mine with these demos. I've not got time to go to Zumba classes. How stupid and boring anyway. I don't even like bouncing around on my feet. I don't like bouncing around and jumping around. It's just not me. Anyway, that's a bit too large. I've got to make it a bit smaller. But it looks quite nice framed like that. I'm wondering if we're going to... How are we going to make this look? To make it look good. I'm just wondering if we're going to... What are we going to do? We're going to take this. I like the colours. The colours look really nice. So I'm just going to put it away and we're going to make this into a mirror image. I do like these swirly patterns. So I'm thinking we're going to make this into a mirror of this job, even though we're enlarged off the edge. So we made it a bit too big. But Zumba is just so boring. It's just like... Same, it's like jazzercise. It's a bit like physical culture, which I did when I was a kid, and I did do a bit of jazzercise in my early 20s, but I never stuck with it. I never got really into it, and it's just so boring and exhausting and sweaty. I'm just not into exercise. Fuck, I've lost my settings. That's what's happened. I have been gas bagging and forgetting to check to make sure my settings are still together. And we just have to get rid of the auto. So yeah, I just don't have the ability to be interested in things that just don't interest me. I just can't. In fact, that was one of the things that made it hard for me to study at school, apart from having brain damage at birth and the disability that came with it. was basically trying not being able to learn things quickly and having no interest in a subject or hating the subject just made it even more, just compounded the difficulty of things. Just not being interested, and even things that do interest me that I want to learn, I can't, because my hippocampus and my short-term memory are both being damaged with a cord around my neck and a breech birth, and it was oxygen starvation, so I can't readily learn new tasks, or some things I can learn, but they're usually simple things. I do look forward to having brain implants that'll help fix the damage, but in the meanwhile I have to exist in this world as a person with disability. It's not easy being disabled. It's not an easy thing having to deal with feeling like you're not all that good and that people don't like you. I'm actually wondering if we're going to make this into a movement piece. I think that would bring out this image a lot better. So I'm thinking we're going to slip and slide this around to make it more interesting. But basically, folks, this disabilities that I have doesn't stop me from doing this. I've found my sweet spot, you could say, and I'm capitalising on it. Not financially, but I'm trying my best to make the most of what I can do. And that's what I feel when I'm doing demos of photocopiers and uploading them to YouTube and other places, is that I'm working on something that is within my capacity to, and basically I don't feel, and I've got to get rid of this, I've got to reduce it. I don't feel a need to try and do what my dad would call self-improvement, which means doing things, which basically is almost like a euphemism for doing something you're not good at. Like working on, my dad is not disabled, but he can't sing. So, but he's with a group that's supposed to be for everyone who just loves to sing. It's called Sing Australia. And I hear him practicing when I used to live with him. He just kept practicing, but I never could discern that his singing had ever improved. Now that looks brilliant. So I could never tell, I could never hear any improvement in his vocalizations. He's still trying to put a shine on a fucking turd. He can't sing, and yet he still insists that he sings. I mean, I just think that's just so ridiculous. And yet he thinks my photocopier art is ridiculous. And he just doesn't have any concept of passion, or he thinks that because photocopier art is different, it's eccentric, that he doesn't like eccentric things. My dad likes normalcy. He likes everything to be normal, everything to be average. He's a fucking boring turd, my father. And he'll never respect my fucking photocopier art or whatever else I'm good at that I enjoy. Sure, it doesn't make money, it doesn't make me any friends, or not friends in the normal sense, although I have got Facebook friends who like my stuff. But basically he just doesn't have any concept that there is value for this, and he doesn't seem to think. You see, I'm really good at this, folks. I believe I've got a talent. People have told me, but my fucking father believes I've got to be normal and do normal things. It pisses me off as a person who's both disabled and talented at the same time, that I have to be middle of the road to be respected by him. This is what I say to my dad: fuck off. And basically, I've got one thing I'm hoping to do I want to make up with my father. I want to forgive him for what he's doing or what he's done, to criticise my talent and to make me try to give it up when I was only young. He basically did something really cruel one day. I went to the library and I did some black and white photocopies. And my dad got angry in the car and said, hand over those photocopies. And he treated it like it was a gun or contraband, you know, like drugs. And I handed them over, and I was crying because he was telling me to give up what I was doing, and he tore the pieces of paper in half. He tore my work. He ripped my work in half. The fucking turd. I'll never forget you, Dad. 1988, you fuckstick. And I don't care what you think of me. I don't love you. But basically, I have to fucking... I do want to... Now I'm going against what I said, because I do want to forgive him, folks. And I want him to fucking show me some fucking respect and not treat me like a bullying victim, because I was bullied at school. My dad bullied me, and that was bullying, folks. And I was in tears, and he wouldn't listen to me. He just kept going with his... He just stood his ground. Now I'm not happy with that fuck, but I have to fucking forgive him, because it's not good to hold a grudge. So one of the things I'm hoping to do with these demos is to have these fucking televised on the news, on the primetime news. And then when Dad sees that I've made it on television, because television carries with it power, it carries with it prestige, and my dad loves all that shit, all that prestige and power. And that's what I want to do, is show my dad that I'm not a fucking waste of space, because I do feel in his eyes that I'm a piece of shit. I do feel angry that I can't be good enough for him. So I can't work in a normal job. I can't socialise like a normal person. I can't do any of that shit. So my dad sees me as a fucking failure, and my brother also, I feel, doesn't like me either. I want to forgive him. I want my family to be brought back together, and I want my mum and my dad and my mum to forgive Dad as well, and Dad to forgive Mum, and Dad to forgive me, and shit like that. I want to bring the fucking family together, and basically I want to go on television because I see it as the only way my fucking father will get any sense of pride at what I'm doing. So, folks, let's just fingers crossed it's going to happen. I hope so. Gotta go.